What would happen if you stopped trying to be someone you're not? Imagine standing at a crossroads in life with one path that feels safe and predictable, but somewhat confining, and the other one that feels uncertain, even a bit scary. Most of us are stuck somewhere between these two, torn between what society expects of us and what we secretly want for ourselves. But here's the question: what if the real you isn't fixed? What if you're meant to change? Not just once, but continuously. Today, I'm going to convince you that embracing change isn't something you have to do, it's something you get to do, and it's essential for living authentically. So, we will be exploring four main points, one of them being why resisting change limits our potential, how identity is shaped over time, how societal pressure can block growth, and most importantly, how you can begin embracing change right now, starting today. So, resisting change limits your potential. Fear of change is natural because it challenges the comfort zone. When you resist change, you're clinging to the familiar, which feels safe, obvious, obviously, but safety often keeps you in a stagnant state. According to a psychologist, Dr. Lisa Friedman Barrett from Northeastern University, our brains are wired to predict and adapt to new experiences. Your identity is constantly changing based on the experiences you go through in life. Those who resist change often find themselves trapped in situations that limit their growth. A 2021 study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people who view their identity as fixed are more likely to avoid challenges and less likely to embrace new opportunities. So, if resisting change keeps us small, what does it mean to live in motion? How do we truly embrace change as part of who we are? So, identity is it's not fixed. It is always evolving. Philosophers like Heraclitus have long emphasized that you can never step into the same river twice. What does this mean? This means that your identity is constantly evolving. Neuroscientist David Eagleman discusses how the brain is not a static organ, but one that rewires itself based on new experiences and memories. This means your identity, your sense of self, is constantly being reshaped. This is when I look this is why when I look back on myself 5 years ago, I I never thought I'd be where I am right now. My values, my goals, and beliefs have changed so much that I sometimes ask myself, is this the same person? And the answer is both a little bit of yes and no. Yes, I do carry pieces of my past, but no, I'm not the same person I once was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Our sense of identity evolves over time, often without us realizing. Research from the University of Virginia reveals that people constantly underestimate how much they'll change in the next decade. We think we're going to remain who we are today, but in reality, we are evolving in ways that we can't predict. Okay, we know that our identities evolve, but we are constantly influenced by society. So, how does societal pressure affect our ability to embrace change? Stay the same? I don't know. Society teaches us to define ourselves by static labels, careers, personality, appearance, even relationship status. But these labels can trap us in roles that no longer fit. We're told to pick a career, a personality, a stay on the track forever. But this idealized version of stability often often stifles growth. Sociologist Irvin Goffman argued that we're constantly perform different versions of ourselves depending on the context, and none of these versions are fake. They are expressions of who we are at any given moment. The pressure to conform to societal expectations can lead to inner conflict and emotional burnout. Research published in the journal Self and Identity in 2022 found that people who suppress evolving aspects of their personality to meet social expectations experience higher levels of anxiety and lower levels of life satisfaction. So, If embracing change is key to growth, how can we practically begin to let go of societal pressures and accept change more easily? So, one of them being practice self reflection without judgment. Start by regular checking in with yourself. Who am I right now? What are my beliefs? What am I thinking? What do I believe in? Psychologist Carl Rogers believed that real growth happens when we stop judging ourselves for changing. Many of us view changing as something bad, kind of disappointing others because we grow out of things. But no, it's about accepting ourselves who we are. It's right now without holding on to who we were yesterday. We are constantly changing. You are not the same person you were a week ago, or yesterday, or a month ago. So a personal tip of mine is journaling or voice memos can help you track the small ways you have evolved over time, so you're more aware of those changes as they happen. Another tip is release the roles that no longer fit. We all get stuck in roles like, oh, the sensitive one, the shy one, the achiever one. Whether or not these roles can limit our growth because they put us in boxes. A 2020 study from the American Psychological Association found that people who can redefine their roles during transitions report higher emotional well-being. For example, I have to let go of a lot of labels as I've grown up. One of them being the shy one, the non-sociable one, when in reality, I just wasn't in the right place where I felt comfortable to be who I really was. Therefore, once I started reflecting and realizing, I started embracing vulnerability. I grew more stronger emotionally and mentally. So lastly, my last tip is to surround yourself with people who allow you to evolve. Sometimes growth can feel impossible when the people around you resist it. You need relationships that support your evolution, not relationships that cling to who you once were or will be. So, change is not something to fear, something to honor. You're not static, you are becoming. And I believe that is the most authentic thing you can do. So, I challenge you to do one thing this week. Let go of one label you've been holding on to. Could be an old belief, a role you've played, or a version of your future that no longer suits you anymore or serves you. Make space for who you are becoming, even if that's a little uncertain right now. That is that will conclude my presentation.